All right, mic set, camera set. We looking good. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Sports Dynasty NFL with your host, Juan here, recapping a wild and exciting week 6 of the 2022 NFL season. Before we get into it, show some love by giving us a thumbs up below and a subscribe. It's free for you and it will help us a ton. Be much appreciated. And also forget that on iTunes and Spotify, a review will do us wonders to give you more content that you guys deserve. All right. This week was insane. Decent amount of upsets going on, a decent amount of just great quarterback duels. Well, at least the one game on the 4 o'clock hour. Been amazing. Let's get into it. But before we do that, I know it's like the third time I said that. Let's go on with some of the games that, eh, you know, eh. Like the Thursday night game, like whatever. Who cares about that, right? Bears Commanders, the probably third worst game of the season. We're not gonna talk about that much. But let's glance over a few of these. Like Minnesota and the Dolphins at Miami, 24-16 victory for the Minnesota Vikings on the road. Another lackluster game that doesn't really, do anything for us to show how good the Minnesota Vikings actually are. 5-1, by far leading the division. Not a very good NFC North, but a good showing nonetheless for them. I mean, we need to see them play a team that actually has a starting quarterback. Skylar Thompson started the game, but wound up hurting his throwing hand like very early, almost as early as Teddy Bridgewater, and then Teddy Bridgewater had to step in all of a sudden. Not much to say, but Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle both combining for about 300 yards total, doing something that they've done all season, basically when you had a competent thrower in the backfield. Uh, a fortunate fumble from Jalen Waddle, though, that could have done something in this game. They close, but like I said, another lackluster Minnesota victory. One of the weaker, if not the weakest, 5-1 teams. Yes, they are 5-1 that we'll ever really see, to be 100% honest. So that's why I want to skip over that game. Panthers, Rams. Rams win 24-10. It took a really long while for them to finally get ahead of this game. The Rams are still a crapshoot. Let's keep it real with this team. Not very good football team still. But the story of the game is not the game itself. It's the fact that Steve Wilkes and Robbie Anderson got into it, and Robbie Anderson got kicked out of the game by his own coach. Pretty good indication that he'll either be traded or cut within the next 2 or 3 weeks or so. We'll find out next week, I guess. But that Panthers team, I think it's safe to say we can write them off of the season, basically saying it's over. Goodbye. Cardinals and Seahawks. Seahawks at home win 19-9. Another lackluster game by the Arizona Cardinals. Uh, only having 3 points at halftime. Stuff that they've done all season. They will have DeAndre Hopkins back next game. So this team might have a small transformation on offense as they will have a reliable pass catching target for this team, but not very good. 2-4. I think they are right where we thought they'd be, but the Seattle Seahawks at 500 at 3-3 are not where we thought they'd be. They're a lot better. They didn't explode on offense like they have for the last few weeks, but they still played a pretty complete game for the most part. Rookie running back for the Seattle Seahawks and Kenneth Walker III is looking pretty dang good, man. And they lost Rashad Penny for the year again, but they got a nice replacement with that rookie. He might be taking the snaps fully moving forward, assuming he can stay healthy himself. Uh, they're a lot better than a lot of people thought they were going to be. A lot of people picked them as number 1 overall pick. I think it's safe to say that ain't happening for the Seattle. Okay, I think we have two more that I want to just glance over while we really go into the real games that actually matter for the most part. Jaguars and Colts. This became a shootout somehow, and as a gambler, it kind of cost me some money, but it's fine. I still went positive for the day, so whatever. Colts at home win this game 34-27. Jaguars having I don't know if we want to call it a blown coverage, but kind of messed up there. I believe having Alec Pierce, the rookie receiver, for the Colts, just leaving them kind of open for the little streak for Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan threw 58 times in this game, which I didn't think he would ever be able to do again successfully, but I guess that's Jaguars for you in a 3-game losing streak. And based on what I said in the preview show last week, it's looking like they were the September darlings. They are frauds. Really bad 3-game losing streak on their end. 3-3, divisions up for grabs. Indianapolis are 3-2-1. Yep, that's their record. I'll repeat that for you. The Indianapolis Colts are 3-2-1, and our second in division behind the Tennessee Titans, who I believe have their rematch. Is not if it's not this week, is the week after. Getting all the division games out early for that division, huh? Yeah. Well, they the division's kind of starting to shape out how everybody thought it was. It was going to be between the Colts and the Tennessee Titans. The division. Yeah. Well, whatever. They're getting destroyed in the wild card round, AFC most likely anyway, so whatever. It doesn't matter. I think two more games, even though I have things to say. So the 49ers game, 49ers go to Atlanta and get just ran on by the Atlanta Falcons in a loss 28-14. The Atlanta Falcons rushed through this game for 168 yards, while the 49ers only had 50. And the reason why this happened is because basically the entire defensive line for the San Francisco 49ers did not play. Nick Bosa's are out. Eric Armstead's out. Javon Kinlaw's out. All their literal entire defensive line was out. So it's all backups. Kind of hard to stop the run when you don't have strong guys up front, right? So that plays the complete strength for the Atlanta Falcons. There was nothing that the 49ers can do, at least defensively. Now, however, offensively, having Jimmy Garoppolo throw 41 times is never a good sign. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And in his defense, for the third quarter at least, there were 2 wide open touchdown drops caused by his receivers, and Brandon Ayuk wound up going down in this game for a little while. Also, did not help their case. Uh, the coaching kind of coached not to lose, even though they did. And which usually what happens when people like to coach not to lose, they usually lose. I don't know if people didn't come up with that, but whatever. Um, he coached that way and didn't he just wanted to leave. He and as in Kyle Shanahan, was coached wanting to get out of there because the injuries were starting to pile up over and over again. I don't understand how a singular team can go through this year in and year out, year in and year out, year in and year out, and is losing their possible Super Bowl window. I don't get it. By the way, I wonder in YouTube if you can see the reflection of the Sports Dynasty logo on screen. It's very weird. It's kind of bothering me. It's like it's on my face right now, but if I move to my left, if you really stare at the back of my chair, you can kind of see our logo. I don't know why it's like that. The podcast, it doesn't matter for you guys if you're listening through iTunes or whatever, it doesn't matter. But on YouTube, this is looking pretty interesting. That's kind of distracting me. It's like on my glasses right now, and you guys can see it. My bad. All right, back to football. I apologize. Back to football. All right. So these next few games I have takes on. So these will take the majority of the podcast. Okay. So let's start off with one of the games that I didn't pay attention to that much because the other ones were a lot more interesting, but this has a lot of takes that I want to talk about. And that's the Jets going to Lambeau and actually knocking off the Green Bay Packers 27-10. The Jets allowed 10 points to an Aaron Rodgers led offense. That actually happened. We're living in a day where the Jets beat the living crap out of the Green Bay Packers. The changing of the guard is real, folks. And Aaron Rodgers is not the only old man quarterback who's apparently losing the touch and losing his ground, apparently, because this is absolutely insane what we're seeing here. And a lot of what I said about the Jets for the last, I believe, 3 weeks on this show and on the AFC East Shakedown. If you haven't been watching that on Saturday nights, please do. It's a hoot. Literally, a, a hoot last week. It was insane. But running the football and protecting your quarterback are two things that I said the Jets need to do to further on the development and get a couple of cheap wins. And they're doing that. Rookie Brees Hall, 20 for a buck 16 and a touchdown. Michael Carter, 6 for 41 yards. Braxton Berrios, just one singular attempt for 20 yards and a touchdown. This is what the New York Jets formula is starting to become. And it's working, especially in this day and age of the NFL, where it's supposed to be just analytics and throwing and no defense. We have seen the complete opposite of that this season. Defenses and running games apparently caught up, and those are the formulas as of right now that are working. But and that's all fine and dandy right now. But for the Jets, I do have one massive concern that I think needs to be addressed. And that is the Zach Wilson aspect of this. Before Zach Wilson came back, Joe Flacco, their backup quarterback, was basically averaging over 30 attempts per game, not running the football at all. And now with Zach Wilson, he barely even hitting 200 yards, if he's even doing that. Which my gut tells me no. I don't even think he reached the 200 mark. Oh, he did against the Miami Dolphins. He did. So barely is 210. So barely hitting 200 yards per game. Okay, and they're winning. And my question is this: is that the formula that you're gonna really entail going forward, or are you hiding him? Because I can promise you this, that formula is not going to win you games going forward. It'll win you a little bit for now because that's what's happening. They are 4-2. Is giving them some cheap wins here and there, taking the Miami game, playing a backup quarterback, playing against a Pittsburgh Steelers team that has problems of their own, but apparently didn't matter yesterday, and beating no, the other beating they beat the Browns with quarterback play, so it wasn't for the running of football. But and now winning yesterday at Lambeau against a very lackluster Packers team. How long do you guys, Jets fans specifically, how long do you think this is gonna last before you're gonna have to at some point allow Zach Wilson to throw? Because I'm asking this question because this kid has been in this system. It's the same system for a year and change now. From September of 2021 to October 17th now of 2022, he's been under the same system, same head coach, same offensive coordinator, upgraded weapons this time outside of just the same, upgraded weapons, upgraded offensive line, upgraded running game. But it's like they're not letting him do anything. And you can argue, give me the argument he doesn't have to. Okay, but are you guys confident that when he has to, he'll deliver? And that's what my concern is. Are they hiding him because they don't think he can deliver? Or they're just taking it easy until they have to? That's the question I have for the Jets. I have concerns about this. And my personal opinion, I don't think he has it since we haven't seen it. But that's the concern I think Jets fans should have. You should be very happy that you guys are 4-2, that you're second in division. You should be very happy that your team is making extreme strides to becoming relevant. Is absolutely great for you guys. It's the state of New York in football this season. Whoa. Just whoa. They're what 14-4, I think, overall. Bills, Jets, and Giants. Like, good for you guys. But just keep that in mind because coming up, you're gonna have to play some teams, man, that can exploit that, start stopping the running game and have to make that kid throw. And are you gonna be able to make that happen? Is the question. October 30th, they will have to play against Bill Belichick, who kind of stopped and exposed the quarterback yesterday. So that's all I'm. That's the reason why I'm asking, because you're gonna start playing people who can exploit it. So that's what I'm asking. Now on the Packers side, this is very sad what we're seeing in that side of the ball. The defense is absolutely anemic. Again, I've said it last week that the Packers fans want their defense coordinator gone, and it's kind of hard to argue that when you're seeing what you're seeing right now, getting completely gashed by the New York Jets, whose offensive line is improved but not great, and getting mauled by them is absolutely bad. And offensively low, whoa, whoa. Randall Cobb, God bless, got carted out yesterday. Hope he's okay. But this, if Robert Tanya is getting 10 for 90, I'm sorry, that's a cry for help on the receiving end. I'm sorry. Good player, but has no business getting those type of stats and having that being the leading receiver of the game. No. 4 sacks on Aaron Rodgers, strip sack. It's getting to the point where it's looking like doom. It's a bad losing streak they're going on. Lost to both New York teams back-to-back weeks. It's looking real bad for this Packers team, man. I'm getting really scared. Buccaneers go into Pittsburgh, and the score doesn't say it, but they got kind of walloped by the Pittsburgh Steelers on a huge, huge statement game, 20-18 against Tom Brady, who we wondered, is he the Pittsburgh stopper or was that a Patriot thing? Based on yesterday, it's looking like a Patriot thing, because that offense on Tampa Bay, we're talking about the Green Bay Packers offense. This is looking around as bad. Couldn't get the running game going. I remember me saying that, thinking that would be an X factor. Pittsburgh stopped it. 21 for 63 for Leonard Fournette. And, just very bad. Got a touchdown on the air, but only bad. Only one touchdown pass for Tom Brady. Just continuous 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs. It took basically went until the fourth quarter to like really get actual points. Like, it's really bad. Field goal after field goal after field goal. And this offense is real bad. It's real bad too. Miscommunications. There was a one route in a third down early in the game where Chris Godwin just fell and took a nap during a route, and Tom just hit him with the ball on the ground, passing in the ball for third down conversion. The receivers and him is like, he's been playing with these receivers for a while, and they don't look like they're in sync at all. This offensive line was getting terrorized by a TJ Wattless line. Okay, could not get the running game going. Tom Brady himself is looking like he's not here. Like, that's a big concern. Him and Aaron Rodgers both are looking like their brains are not where they should be, and you don't need that from your quarterback. And that's what we're seeing. Kenny Pickett only hit 67 yards, game managing in this game. Trubisky came in after taking Kenny Pickett taking I think it might be a concussion. I hope not, but I definitely her injured. 9 for 12, 144, and a touchdown to close the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Trubisky did. So I guess him getting benched maybe either lit something in him, or the Tampa defense just didn't prepare for him because they thought they'll never see him. And I don't blame them if they thought that. But there's another cry for help for these old quarterbacks, man. Really, really bad. So those are 2 takes down. I got 4 more. I got 4 more for you guys. Let's go with the Lamar Jackson. Let's finish up. Let's go with the other New York City team and the New York Giants at home, taking the Baltimore Ravens in a comeback victory for the 2 weeks in a row, and another choke job by the Baltimore Ravens, losing 24-20 at the Meadowlands / the MetLife Stadium. Okay. I want to give you some stats. I want to give you guys some stats for Lamar Jackson's, and before we give praise to the 5-1 New York Giants, let's just talk about Baltimore for a minute. So since week 4, in the second half of the Buffalo game, 1 of 3 choke job losses that I'm telling you, that's what it is. I'm sorry. one of three losses. This is the first one for the second half of that game against Buffalo, where Buffalo basically took what, like 8 minutes of the fourth quarter and won the game outright. Lamar Jackson went 8 for 12, 36 yards, and two interceptions, especially that godly awful one in the end zone to set up Buffalo to win the game. Against the Cincinnati Bengals, the entire game, he went 19 for 32, 174 yards, touchdown and interception. I think he missed at least two touchdown passes in that game, maybe three. Had really, really bad game accuracy wise against Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday Night Football. And yesterday against the New York Giants on the road this time. Remember, the first two games were at home. He went 17 for 32, 210 yards, a touchdown, and another godly bad interception that I, for the life of me, don't understand what he was throwing at. Right to cornerback number 20. I don't know his name. I'm sorry for that. But just giving him the football and started this little momentum shift for the New York Giants. Lamar has been pretty dang bad for the last 2.5 games, and you can say I can I can promise say this, that the last two losses that they had was on him. For a guy who's fighting for a league best contract for quarterbacks, kind of not playing up to par and kind of proving the Ravens' point a little bit. Even the Ravens offered them a lot of money. What's going on with him? I think he has a decent excuse in the fact that it's something that every person who's done any research on the Baltimore Ravens has said is the lack of weapons. In the last two games, he did not have Rashad Bateman present for him to use. And Rashad Bateman has made some pretty key catches throughout the entire season. Not the best receiver, not a number one receiver, probably barely a number two receiver, but he makes key catches when Lamar needs them, and he has not been present in the last 2 weeks. He was there against the Buffalo Bills, though, and they didn't show up. So not excusing, just giving possible reasons for Lamar's decline out of his hot September start for the last 2 weeks. They have Mark Andrews, who's not the best separator in the world, so he'll have to throw a lot of tight window throws for him to get his stuff, which works about 60-70% of the time. So Mark Andrews did his thing like he always does. It just causes Lamar to make tighter window throws because he's not the best separator, like like a Kelsey is. Kelsey's really good at separating when he has to make plays. And there's 4 incompletions between him and 7-11. 7-4-11 rather for Mark Andrews in that game. 106 and a touchdown. Still did his thing. But when you gotta count on a second tight end, Isaiah Likely and Devin Duvernay, and Demarcus Robinson, like the lack of weapons really hurts. But it also comes down to Greg Roman just absolutely losing the coaching battle against the old friend defensive coordinator for the New York Giants, who the Baltimore Ravens fired after last season. The narrative that Lamar can't beat the blitz, I guess, is still alive because that is the primary thing that was going on in this game. The New York Giants are blitzing the ever-loving crap out of Lamar Jackson, and it worked. It worked for the most part. Something's got to give in Baltimore. I still think they're a great football team. They're just missing something. I don't know if they have the pieces to make some type of a trade. Maybe trade for. I don't know if Robbie Anderson will fix this, but at least he's a decent enough receiver and probably will be a better receiver than everybody else they have at this point in time. And it'll most likely push Rashad Bateman to the complete number 2, and it'll give them something. I'm just trying to name like receivers who are available that Baltimore Ravens can trade for. I think this will solve their problem. But I just wanted to illustrate you guys with his numbers of how bad Lamar has been the last 2.5 games and a half, because he was good in the first half in that Buffalo game, but the second half and on, he has been playing pretty bad. And I think a big reason is because of the lack of weaponry. Easy to blitz a guy when there's no threats to be afraid of. And I think that's what's happening for the Baltimore here. They really need some weapons, like really bad. A very similar issue in Green Bay, but this one, at least in Baltimore's case, even with a bad defense, they're still leading the division, I believe, and every game they lost, they were up double digits. So they controlled those games. They just lost it. for whatever reason or another. Now, for the New York Giants, these guys are 5-1, feisty. This is the best coach team in football, maybe outside of the New England Patriots. The best coach team in football, at least in the NFC, outside of what? Outside of the Patriots in the AFC, and maybe the Philadelphia Eagles too, in their own division. Very good coach, very well coached team as well there. Um, but they their fight is amazing. Their rushing game is amazing. Even with lower than usual large per carry for Saquon Barkley, they're on 3.8, and 22 for 83 for a touchdown. They get things done when they need to, and they're the type of team that if you give them a chance, they're gonna take that chance and cash in. Um, there's something it just got to give with this team though. Like when they start playing a better off team, like especially defensively, they're not going to be able to do much, and it's going to show. But as of right now, because they have no receiving targets, that's just a fact. Their leading receivers didn't even hit 40 yards in this game. Okay, so it's gonna happen eventually. Daniel Jones taking 4 sacks, the usual with this offensive line. You're gonna, you're gonna, they're gonna pay for this eventually. They're doing what they can with the roster that they have, and it's impressive what they're doing, but they will come down to earth eventually. They got completely outgained in the yardage territory. Baltimore got 400 total yards. The New York Giants allowed 211 yards rushing. Giants only have 238 total yards. Like, they're again, it's gonna come back to earth. But is I will admit though, as a very impartial person here, I am having a lot of fun watching this New York Giants team. I think they're definitely at this point they're probably hitting towards a wild card spot in the NFC at this point in time. They will come down to earth and start dropping games. It will happen. But as of right now, what the job that Brian Daboll is doing, just chef's kiss right now. It's just amazing. I love it. Very happy to see it. Okay, two more for you guys. Oh, three more. Uh, Cooper Rush. So this little backup quarterback palooza that we're seeing in this season. Okay, kind of started to rear its ugly head in a few of the games yesterday. So, for example, the Dallas Cowboys dropping the game at Philadelphia. Philadelphia wins 26-17, but they were up 22, I think nothing actually. So the game was really never in doubt. They're 20-3 at halftime. So they were up 20 nothing. They were at some point. Okay. That Cooper Rush crap is now over. Dak Prescott is a very high 95% chance he will be starting in the following game next week. I think it against Detroit. Don't quote me. I'll know for sure and give you the breakdown of that game, obviously, on Wednesday or Thursday show. I believe they're playing against Detroit off a bye. With Dak Prescott come back and have a great cushion game against the worst defense in the NFL. So lucky him. But Cooper Rush with two just godly bad interceptions, forced defensively, of course. But he came back down to earth. 3 interceptions in total. He just threw the two at halftime before halftime, so that's when the game was over. They wind up limiting him and just running the football and attempted to crawl back in the second half, scoring 14 points in the second half. The Eagles only scored 6, but the game was never in doubt. This team obviously is missing the quarterback to make the throws. The last time we saw Dak Prescott play, it was a sight to see. But that was week 1. Okay. He has time to heal the hand. Again, he has a great test next week, a cushion rather, to just go ahead and decimate, put up the Dak Prescott numbers, the 290, 290, 398s rather, 3 touchdowns, no picks against a godly bad Lions defense at home at Dallas. Lucky him. But I think the identity of this team is known. They're defensive team that relies on defensive line and Marco Parsons. They are a run first team on offense as they should be. And Dak Prescott should be just asked to make the throws. That's how this team should be. The question going forward is, are they actually going to do that, or are they going to put the ball on Dak Prescott's hands more often than we can argue they should? And they may become lackluster. That's the fear that Dallas fans should have. because I think you guys have a formula, and again, a formula that apparently is working for multiple teams this season. The Jets being one of them, the Dallas Cowboys being another one. The Browns, when they win and put up points, that worked for them. They're a primarily running team. The Atlanta Falcons, another team that does it. The New England Patriots, another team that does that. A lot of teams are a run first team, and their quarterbacks are just asked to make throws when needed. And Dallas is one of them, and was working for them. And I think it'll this for like the Jets. I argue it won't work for long because I don't think their quarterback is ready for the type of responsibility when it comes to his hands. But Dak Prescott shown that at most of the time he will make throws when he has to. It's when he's asked to do too much is when things go south for the Dallas Cowboys. So I think their formula should not change. Dak Prescott should come back and just do what Cooper Rush has done, except he'll do it way better. So hopefully this Cooper Rush crap is put to an end. The Philadelphia Eagles look like just I don't want to go as far as say juggernaut, but they look great. I love everything they're doing there. Their rushing attack is absolutely phenomenal, rushing for 136 yards yesterday. This team is fun to watch, and I really like their swagger. Probably the healthiest team in the NFL, which shows because they had their offensive line completely banged up last week, and Lane Johnson also didn't finish the game, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday also. So they have their injuries too, but they're still healthier than everybody else, which says something about this league this year. Uh, there's there's a reason why they're undefeated, and health to me is the biggest reason. But they have a well formula that they established since the following season, had time to burn it in, and just came guns a blazing, running the football. So again, like I said, I already named like 5 or 6 teams that do it. Eagles is another one, and the best one right now because they're undefeated. Kudos to these guys. This division is so fun to watch. Can't wait to see what continues going on forward, right? Got two more things. Now I got two more things for you guys. The New England Patriots. The reason why I'm bringing up the New England Patriots in a segment in this show is because, again, the backup quarterback palooza that has kind of taken over the league. A lot of teams are playing their backup quarterbacks, and a lot of teams are actually playing their third stringers, and the New England Patriots is one of them in Bailey Zappi. The New England Patriots went into Cleveland and is completely just I don't think dismantle is the word for what happened to the Cleveland Browns in their own home turf against New England Patriots, losing 38-15. It was so bad that they went for a 9 side after finally going to 15 points. I believe at the time the score was 24-15. I think 6-ish minutes left in the fourth quarter. They go for a non-side. We all think they get it until one of their special teamers went to touch the ball, and then foot was out of bounds, and it became New England's ball. And then with a snap, the score became 38-15 in like 2 minutes. It wasn't even 2 minute warning yet. That shows you how this game went. That shows you how this game went. This was just an annihilation. Jacoby Brissett, again, putting the backup quarterback stuff to bed because people were hyping up Cooper Rush, people were hyping up Jacoby Brissett, people were hyping up Bailey Zappi, hyping up a lot of these guys, talking about they had deserved to be starters over the quarterbacks that are down. We got 2 of them cut. The Bailey Zappi one, I'm gonna have to, take that down to a peg. Interception thrown, I believe, within 2 pass attempts for Jacoby Brissett. Throwing straight to Kyle Duggar. Don't know what the hell he was doing in that play. Njoku was completely covered. I believe Njoku went that with that entire target. Completely covering that play. I don't understand what he was throwing in that one. Jacoby's been pretty bad himself. I give you Lamar stats. I don't even want to give you. I don't even want to give you Jacoby Brissett stats. There's a reason why he is a career backup quarterback in this league. Okay. There is a reason why backup quarterbacks are backup quarterbacks. Just because they're playing well, because they're game managing, doesn't mean that they deserve to be full-fledged starters. People got to cut that crap out. And that is what we're seeing in the New England Patriots side. Bailey Zappi, a 4th-round pick. He's a rookie now. 4th-round pick of the 2022 draft, who was the 3rd stringer coming into this season. 3rd stringer. coming into the Green Bay Packers game 2 weeks ago, was forced in due to two injuries to Mac Jones against the Baltimore Ravens and a very quick concussion hit for Brian Hoyer, an NFL veteran, in that Green Bay Packers game. Zabe comes in, he game manages the crap out of that game. The Patriots almost steal one at Lambeau. Following week, he comes in his first NFL start, game manages the ever-loving crap out of the Detroit Lions, as I said in last week's episode, staring down Jacoby Myers the entire game, and the Lions' crappy defense doing nothing about it. The defense absolutely annihilates the Detroit Lions 29-0. Now we come into this game where Bailey Zappe's actually asked to make more than just his first read. The first time we've seen that from him, throwing a couple of hospital passes to Devontae Parker, couple hospital passes to Jacoby Myers. And when I say hospital passes are throws that are intended to the receiver where he is just set up to take a massive hit or is forced to catch it in a very uncomfortable and dangerous position. That's what a hospital pass is. So, example, in the first drive for offensive drive for the New England Patriots after the interception caught, Bailey Zappi, I believe that or the second drive, I don't remember which one, throws just a duck up to Devontae Parker, and Devontae Parker is forced to basically jump on top of the shoulders. I'm not exaggeration. Jump on top of the shoulders of a Cleveland Browns defender in order to catch that ball and got slammed to the ground. Hospital pass. Something similar happens later on the right-hand side this time to, I want to say, was Jonnu Smith, who had an amazing game, by the way. This might be his best game as a Patriot, actually, now that I'm saying this. All right. I want to say it was about a 10-yard pass. He was wide open. If it's not him, it was Jacoby Myers. One or two. I remember it was one. Apologize for the me being not prepared for it. But one of those two. Throws. He was wide open on an out route on the right-hand sideline. He throws a duck. Another duck. Receiver has to stop, turn around, jump, catch the ball because he had to almost come back for it, and defender had a chance to go ahead and pop him right in the back. Hospital pass. Want another example as to the reason why Bailey Zappe's a backup in the first drive again. Because this is the only three examples I need to prove that he's a bad quarterback. And these stupid New England fans, sorry, but you guys are stupid. We've proven that for years. Stupid New England fans have to stop this Tom Brady backup gonna take over Mac Jones' job comparison crap. That you guys are told this. Anyway, it was third down. I want to say third and goal. Very simple concept. Snaps the ball. Okay, action, right? Hunter Henry, and I called this, me being a bozo on the couch, caused that this is a Hunter Henry touchdown toss. Very easy. Saw it coming. Okay, action. Hunter Henry breaks behind the defense, turns around, wide open, waiting for the pass. Does Zappe throw the ball? No. He holds on to it, looking, I don't know where he's looking at. The defenders catch up to Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry winds up getting pushed out of bounds because Bailey Zappe took forever to make that easy ass read. Then Hunter Henry comes back. Then Bailey Zappe throws the ball to him. But guess what? Since he would never establish himself back into play, it's illegal touching on the offense. And Patriots forced to kick a field goal. Very simple concept that I'm sure they'd run in Pop Warner. He did not get that concept. Now, listen to me here, because it sounds like, and I am completely bashing this guy and saying this dude is complete garbage. I am not trying to say that. I may have painted that picture, and I apologize to him and the team. I am not trying to say that he is a complete trash can. What I'm trying to say is that there's a reason why this dude was drafted in the 4th round. There's a reason why this dude is a third stringer coming into the season, okay? And there is a reason why this team has done what they've done despite him having to play a starting role, almost a starting minutes like it was basketball, starting role in this team. positives about him playing is that he's actually proving that he belongs in the league. He's proving that he is at worst a backup quarterback, which I think that's solely what he is. And this gives incentive for the coaching staff to challenge Mac Jones because you remember Mac Jones's role before he got hurt. He was playing not well at all. He was forcing passes up, trying to be more aggressive, and everybody's all for you being more aggressive as a quarterback, but not when it's at the detriment of efficiency and a detriment of a possession. You keep turning over the football, in other words. This gives Mac Jones the light in his head saying, dude, if I keep messing up, they actually have someone who can give me quality snaps. He'll give the team quality snaps and wind up taking over the job because he doesn't mess up as much as I do. This is great for the Patriots because this is going to force Mac Jones to play his best ball all the time because there is someone that the Patriots are comfortable with actually starting. So all I'm trying to say here for the Patriots side and to trying to cut the stupid QB backup palooza that this season is turning into is that there's a reason why guys are backups. There's a reason why they are placed where they are in the depth chart. And just because a guy throws for 300 yards against probably the second or third worst defense in the league, when he throws for great efficiency against the worst defense in arguably history in the Detroit Lions the week before, just because he's killing trash defenses doesn't mean that he needs to start over a guy who was, again, for a reason, picked in the first round and for a reason won 10 games with the squad a year prior, who is now, with the 2 losses this year, now is an 11-9 record as a starter. So it's still above 500, albeit not the best, but is above 500. Who won games with this team. Don't forget that. Mac Jones will be taking his job probably as soon as this coming week against the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football. But kudos to that New England Patriots defense, which is the reason why these teams have starting to win. This team's starting to win games again, albeit not against the best competition. But you know what? You got to beat who's in front of you, right? And you got to beat who's inferior to you, and they're doing it, and they're doing it with an exclamation point. Something the Patriots are known for doing for the last 20 years. So now, let's talk about this great quarterback duel we saw at Kansas City. Is an amazing game, so much fun to watch. These quarterbacks, albeit not the biggest scoring game for these teams, is absolutely sensational duel between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. The Bills go into Kansas City and win 24-20 on a go-ahead touchdown by Josh Allen to Dawson Knox, who Tony Romo and company just completely disrespected Dawson Knox, by the way. I don't know if you guys heard that. When he called the touchdown pass, they were like, oh my God, of all people, Dawson Knox with the touchdown. That was so disrespectful. That, that was bad. I don't know if they think they low for saying that. I'm surprised that didn't blow up on social media, but that was pretty disrespectful what they said. We all know that Dawson Knox is kind of lackluster, but they ain't have to play him down like that. But anyway, not take away. Both these quarterbacks were absolutely sensational. And if you guys didn't know, these are 1 and 2 in the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't think, and based on what we've seen this season, I don't think it's particularly close. And no one's trying to disrespect Jalen Hurts, who's playing sensational football himself. But I don't think Jalen Hurts is doing what Mahomes and what Josh Allen was doing yesterday afternoon. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't think I'm crazy. I think I'm right. But these quarterbacks are just another class. Unfortunately, someone had to lose, and unfortunately, Mahomes wound up throwing the game-losing pick. But I think I'm gonna defend that. I normally don't defend things like this. I usually will laugh at them and tell you why it's their fault. I'm gonna give him not a pass, but I'm gonna give credit instead to the Buffalo Bills defense. And there's a reason why they paid what they paid for a man named Von Miller. On this play, Von Miller beats Orlando Brown on the left side, chases Mahomes out of the pocket. So Mahomes is pressured already, like usual. But what was brilliant about this defensive play, at least to me, was they had Matt Milano as the spy. Milano comes up to the line of scrimmage and starts running laterally with Mahomes and blocks whatever he could see, which I thought was sensational. You would think that's simple, but people don't do that very often, believe it or not. He comes in, arms wailing, blocks Mahomes' vision, which allows Johnson, the corner for the Buffalo Bills, to go ahead and just completely snag a pass that Mahomes just wanted to heave out because of the pressure he was feeling on both sides. In the back from Von Miller and on the front from Matt Milano. Try to throw it side, yicked. It was such a good defensive showing by the Buffalo Bills, and as to why they spent the money that they spent and why they're as deep as they are on defense, which is why I was saying last week as to there is a reason why they were favored coming into this game, and it's because as of right now, overall, they are a better football team than the Kansas City Chiefs, no matter where they are, and it showed. Even though the Chiefs defense played a lot better than I thought they would, I thought Buffalo will wind up hitting 30 in this game, winning by around 10ish. Thinking that the Chiefs defense wouldn't have an answer for the receivers, and for the most part, they kind of didn't. At least they didn't have an answer for Stephon Diggs because at this point, no one does. He's basically, as of right now, he's statistically the best receiver in the NFL at 148 yards. He's just a goon. He's like he says, "I'm him." That is him at this point. He's right. And Gabriel Davis, who I thought had the game changing touchdown to end the half, was just sensational. That drive alone by Josh Allen, oh my lord! Like again, top 1 and 2. You take your pick. It doesn't matter who you pick at this point. 1 and 2 best quarterback in the NFL. That drive in total right before the half was just insane by them by Josh Allen, and then Gabriel Davis just breaking free. The score in halftime was 10-10. By the way, it was 10-3 at that point. That rainbow to him. It was just a sensational throw and sensational catch, breaking open that way by Gabriel Davis. Well, I predicted to have a big game. He had an impact, not a big game, but he had a great impact in this game. Just sensational showing by those guys. But I want to talk a little bit more about Kansas City. I gave Buffalo the credit already. They were sensational. Von Miller, 2 sacks in the game, just absolutely wonderful. Again, the reason why they got him to be that difference maker on defense that they missed last year. That was like the little key that they needed last year to get over the hump. They didn't have it. They might have it now with Von Miller, a Super Bowl champion plus. So I want to talk about the Chiefs because I think there's 2 weaknesses that they have, but they have strengths that people didn't really acknowledge that Sports Dynasty have acknowledged. Yes, I am. Yes, I am tipping my hat off to me. Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm being arrogant right now. And it's this: they still can't run the football. Their running is bad. They can't do it still. And I don't think it's a line problem because I believe, at least in PFF terms, their run grade is actually pretty good. Their running backs are lackluster. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not a good running back. Like, I'm sorry. I've been saying that since he got drafted, and I've been proven nothing but right since he's gotten is he having his touches. He's not very good. Their best running back is probably Isaiah Pacheco, to be 100% honest with you guys. So he needs to get more touches. He only had 2 run attempts because he usually catches the football off the backfield when used. He only had 4 touches to football, and they need to change that. He needs to be their future back. I think he's more explosive. I think he catches the football about just as well as Hilaire does, and he's a better runner. Hilaire's not a good running back. I think that's proven now. So that should be put to bed. Isaiah Pacheco should be the leading back of this team, and they should be looking for more of a bruising type back to actually run between tackles in the next time they get a chance to get him, whether it's free agency or draft. Because this is what they need. They need somebody to be able to really run between the tackles, wear out the defense they're playing, so Mahomes doesn't have to do everything like he always has to. Like, come on now. But receiving, Juju Smith-Schuster has his first, I believe this is his first century mark game as a Chief, and really killed. And you know why he was so good in this game? Because he is a zone beater. That is, to me, something that they missed previous years when they had just Tyreek Hill. Okay, because using those zones is what took away the deep pass, which is one of the ways you take away Tyreek Hill. One of the ways you limit and lower Tyreek Hill's impact in the game. Juju Smith-Schuster is a magnificent route runner and a guy who gets open in the slot that kills zones. There's a reason why New England quarterbacks, especially Brady back in the day, there's a reason why those guys, when you put zone on Brady and zone on Jones, that happened a lot with Jones last year, they kill it because those slot receivers are made to kill those drop back zone plays. Juju Smith killed it. So that was I was getting upset in the Chargers game when they almost lost because they were using Juju Smith the wrong way. That's how you're supposed to use him. You use him to kill that too high zone thing that it was mythed to stop the Kansas City Chiefs, who apparently now that stops the Cincinnati Bengals because that's what's killing them. Juju Smith kills that. So that's how you use him. Travis Kelce is another one who can kill those zones. So it's not just him anymore. He has a little bit of help. He was magnificent with 108 yards himself. Of course, it's Travis Kelce. And now they have to find a way to implement Valdez Scantling and Miko Hartman down the field. They find a way to use them to stretch the field up. This offense is going to be absolutely lethal. So, in other words, what I think a difference in this game between Buffalo and the Kansas City Chiefs offensively is this. Buffalo ran the football down their throats yesterday. Okay? With 125 yards rushing right down Kansas City to his throat. Then Singletary with 85 yards rushing, Josh Allen with 32 yards rushing, James Cook with 8 yards rushing on only 2 attempts, only 2, because it's a big game. Not gonna put a rookie in that type of position when you have somebody who's a veteran like Singletary, who was average 5 yards per carry, by the way, running down their throats in this game. Okay, and then Josh Allen picking up the small yards that they need. And the weapons in terms of Buffalo knows how to use their weapons and put them in the best position to utilize their strengths. I think Kansas City still hasn't done that yet because their whole receiving core is new still. It's only 6 weeks in. They don't have them set yet. I think this might be a start, though, at least for Juju, that he will be utilized the correct way. All they have to do is find ways for Marquez Valdez-Scantling to get his stuff done because he did last week against the Raiders. He had a great game. They found a way to get him open. So this once they put this together, this will be our AFC Championship game preview, and this will be the AFC Championship game period. Once Kansas City figures out how to implement these weapons. I think those are the two differences between Buffalo and the Chiefs because the Chiefs defense, albeit their corner is still a bit of a problem. Frank Clark has been pretty good this whole season, surprisingly enough. And Chris Jones, albeit getting away with a little bit of a trip and causing Buffalo a drive, done his thing, was very, very good. As usual, it's Chris Jones. He's very good. So those are two differences. I think Buffalo has their identity set, and which is why they're so successful already, while Kansas City is still kind of finding their passing game and trying to figure out where everybody will be best utilized. Once they figure that out, they're going to be just as good as Kansas City, and we're going to see another fireworks showdown against them in the playoffs. That's all I got to say about this. This is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. You guys are always wonderful. I love putting out this content for you guys, and I love talking football with you guys at where? The Facebook group for Sports Dynasty. You want to really talk to us one-on-one, go right ahead and end up on there. That group is always booming. Business is booming all the time over there. But comment if you dislike anything I said, please comment below and tell me why. I always reply. So please tell me if you enjoyed it. Tell me why. Talk to me. I'm here for you guys 24/7. Please let me know what you guys think. I'll be back with you guys on Thursday for the week 7 preview, right before Thursday night football. NBA tip-off is starting, so watch out for more basketball podcasts there, and Bucketphoria every Thursday at 7 p.m. EST, and the AFC East Shakedown on Saturday evening, 6 p.m. EST. We always got stuff for you, no matter what. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the Monday Night Football game against Denver versus the Chargers. Okay, And I'm out. Peace.